What is going on, people? It is Adam from Masulon Gaming, and today I have a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare gameplay for you all. Now, seeing as this is the first official upload for Masulon Gaming, I figured what better way to do it than to give you my list of firsts. So, just to introduce myself, my name is Adam. I am one of the two commentators here on Masulon Gaming. So let's just jump right into it, I guess, eh? What was your first car? My first car was a Grand Marquis LS 2003 model. It was this great big bullet of a car. It was my dad's originally. We still have it. It's all rusted to shit, but I love that car. Okay, next question. When was the first time you got stitches? Wow. First time I got stitches, I think I was 7. Yeah, I was 7 years old when I first got stitches. I was at my family's cottage up north, and they had just, what was it? They had just finished their deck, and I had ran out onto the deck after my parents had told me not to, and I ended up getting a splinter about 4 inches, 5 inches deep in my foot, like a big chunk of wood, like not just a simple splinter, but yeah. And then I had to go to the doctors and get that taken out, and then I ended up getting stitches for it. My mom always told me that it took like 6 doctors to hold me down, but it's probably just a story to boost my confidence.
Search and destroy.
Next up, what was the first thing you learned to cook? Oh man,
Destroy the objective.
definitely had to be spaghetti, and it was probably when I was like 13. I didn't cook before then, like ever. I guess. No, yeah, definitely spaghetti. What was your first paying job? My first paying job, I worked for Canadian Tire in my hometown. And it was, oh man, it was awful. I worked in the sporting goods department, and yeah. When was the first time you flew on an airplane? Now, I, unlike most people, didn't fly on an airplane until I was old. Like, I was in grade 12 the first time I flew on an airplane. I went on a school trip to New Orleans in the States, and that was the first time I ever flew on an airplane. It's weird. For those of you that have never, which I doubt there's very many, but for those of you that haven't, when you're taking off, if you're not chewing gum, you're in a pretty bad place, because if you're not chewing gum, your ears pop, and it's just a really bad time. What was the first concert you went to see? My first concert was actually T.I. My first concert was T.I., and it was recently. I wasn't a very big music goer
Search and destroy.
as a kid. I never went to very many concerts, just to kind of take a break from it. As you see the score right now, we're down 3 rounds to nothing. Just take note of that as we move forward. Next question. What was your first bike like? My first bike, surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly, it was a hand-me-down mountain bike from my brother. It was a piece of shit, but it was a good bike nonetheless. When was the first time you moved houses? Wow. So I moved around a lot as a kid. Like, we would, God. Up till now in my life, I've probably moved a total of about 13 times. But the first time I moved, I was probably... First time I remember, I was probably
Good job.
6.
Get ready for the next battle.
Yeah, I was probably 6 years old first time I moved. When was the first time you quit a job? The first time that I ever quit a job was Canadian Tire, because that was my first ever paying job. Yeah, I had just gotten back into school after the summer, and I just had a really heavy course load in high school, so I just left my job. What was the first professional sporting event you went to? First professional sporting event I probably went to was when I was 9 years old. I went to see the London Knights play hockey in London, Ontario. I was probably 9 years old. I went with my dad and my brother. It was a good time. I think they won. I don't actually remember. Next question. When was your first regrettable hairstyle? Oh, man. Okay, so there's a story behind this one. First regrettable hairstyle. When I was probably
We lost that fight.
12,
It's not over.
I had like the longest hair. Like, I probably had hair down to my shoulders, which was really long for me as a kid. And my mom wanted me to get it cut. And being a kid, I didn't want any part of it. But eventually I gave in. So we went to get it cut, and I wanted them to just cut up around my ears and that, because I figured if I was going to get it cut, I was going to get a crew cut, like a military cut kind of thing, so I'd at least look tough. But I guess the chick cutting my hair mistook military for bowl cut, because that's exactly what she gave me. I walked out of there, and my mom saw my hair, and I just started to cry. It was really lame, but this chick, like, murdered my hair. It was nuts. Like, it was straight mushroom cut, bowl cut. It was just brutal. How old were you when you first left home? When I first left home, I was probably... Oh, just to take a little side note, the fact that I didn't get ninja diffused here is a miracle and a half.
Get ready for the next round.
How old was I when I first left home? I was 17. I was 17 when I first left home. I left home for college. And when was the first time you cut class? I really should have went through these and edited some of these out with the friggin' questions. When was the first time you cut class? First time I ever cut class was public school, probably. It was, no. Okay, now I remember. First time I cut class, I was in grade 4 French. And I sat near the back of the room with my one buddy, Justin. And me and Justin would never pay attention. We'd always be the class clowns screwing around. I don't know how I ever did well in that class. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, first time I ever cut, I showed up. I saw the kind of lesson that our teacher was starting. I asked to go to the bathroom, and I basically just hung out around the school for the full, I don't know, how long were classes in public school? Half an hour? Yeah, for about the full half an hour. So that was the first time I ever cut class. How old were you when you had your first kiss? Well, this is the second last question, but this one's a biggie. How old was I when I had my first kiss? I was in the 9th grade when I had my first kiss. My first official kiss. I mean, like, everybody has a little girlfriend or whatever when they're in kindergarten, right? Like, they get their little kiss under the swing set, and they're the coolest kid on the playground. But my first official kiss, it's not Ebola. My first official kiss was grade 9. It was semi-formal. I went with this girl that I was kind of crushing on at the time. And, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's sort of memorable, but we were basically just on the dance floor. We were dancing together. This song came on that she really liked, and I just made a move and kissed her on the face, I guess. So that was that. Alright. This is the last question on our list here. When was the first time you went fishing? Now, this story, this story is a doozy. The first time I went fishing, I was probably, I was probably 8 years old the very first time I went fishing. Now,
switching sides.
The first time I went fishing, I was 8, and I went out on a boat with my
defend the objective.
Uncle, my brother, my dad, my cousins, and we went out on this fishing trip. And I don't even remember how it happened. I had a fish on the line, and I got really excited, and I went to reel it up, and I ended up slipping off the edge of the boat, and I fell into the water. Now, it's summer, but when you fall in and you're shocked like that, it's cold. I was freezing cold when this happened. But, yeah, I was just freezing cold. And then I didn't have a life jacket on, like a complete idiot. I didn't have a life jacket on. So what had happened was I was crying, I was splashing around. My dad pulled me out of the water and just set me back up in the boat. So yeah, first fishing trip was fairly memorable. And I guess
Squad,
that's all the
that
time
was
we got,
textbook.
guys. Once again, I'm Adam from Masulan Gaming, and I will see you guys when I see you. Have a good one, guys.